Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to share with you 15 practical tips for when you're taking the AP Literature exam this year. Now, depending on your situation, you might not be able to apply all of these or even any of these. That's just the situation we find ourselves in because of the coronavirus. You might not be able to do any one of these, or you might only be able to pick and choose a few. But I do sincerely hope that you're able to learn something from here and apply it for when you take the exam. Tip number 1. Use a digital clock app. Download a digital clock app on your phone and set it up next to your computer. I have one on my Android device, which is literally called Digital Clock App, and it makes my entire screen a huge clock. And it looks like this. This is great because you can set your timer up on your phone close to your computer and keep track of your time. It's a lot better than looking at the timer that the AP exam gives you, because that often gets in the way and you might feel anxious constantly looking at it while it's on your screen. Number 2. Put your phone on airplane mode after having the digital clock set up, or at the very least put it on Do Not Disturb. The temptation is too great if you're getting buzzes on your phone constantly, or even trying to communicate with other students during the exam. This is just a recipe for disaster. Number 3. If you're taking the exam on a desktop computer or a laptop, split screen both of your tabs. Now, tab number 1 is going to be the actual exam, and tab number 2 is going to be your Google Doc or Microsoft Word or wherever you're writing your response. This essentially will create a side-by-side view in which you can see the prompt and the questions and also your response at the same time. Number 4. Now, number 4 is like a mega number 3, and it is, if possible, use 2 monitors. Now again, this is probably one that's not feasible for a lot of people, but if you have a gaming setup already in which you have 2 computer monitors, or you have a small old TV, you can plug that in using HDMI cables or VGA cables and adapters, and you could essentially extend your screen even further. So essentially on one monitor you could have your entire passage in questions, and on the next monitor you'd be able to have your response. This just makes it bigger for you. It's not needed, but if you have the ability to do it, it could come in handy for you. Number 5. This is a big one. Uninstall Grammarly. Now, I've talked with a few different people and they've all said the same thing that stems from a webinar that the College Board gave. From what I was able to find out, it seems like Grammarly interferes with the AP exam system, and it may not even let you start the exam until that is uninstalled. Now, I don't know if it alerts you if it is installed and says to uninstall it, or if they're just telling us all ahead of time. Please make sure that this is uninstalled. So do yourself a favor, before the exam, disable the add-on if you have it in Chrome, or delete it from your computer for the time being. Number 6. Now, the AP exam is going to remind you of this constantly, but in your response, whether it's hard copy or online, you need to have your AP ID right up at the top of your page, followed by your initials. If you don't have that, you're going to have some problems. Number 7. I recommend using Google Docs for your written responses, and personally that's because that's what I use, but it also saves it continually, and if for any reason it were to close down and the tab were to be deleted, you could pull it back up in your Google Drive. Now, as a bonus with number 7, when you use your Google Doc, you then want to hit File, then go down to Download, and then download it as a PDF. That's how you're going to upload it to the exam. Number 8. Do yourself a favor and practice using the demo. It does not take much time. It is pretty simple to use. College Board should have sent you an email, or maybe it's an AP Classroom. You click on the link, you type in practice instead of the AP ID, and then you could actually work on uploading materials. Number 9. This comes straight from the College Board resources. They prefer using Chrome as the browser. Now, they do list Firefox and Safari and Internet Edge or Explorer and other ones like that, but they specifically point out in parentheses that Chrome is preferred. So to avoid any problems, just use Chrome. It's free. Number 10. Now, a lot of students are excited that you're able to actually use class notes during the exam. Don't be too excited. I think that there's a real problem with potentially relying on your exam notes. Now, certainly bring something to the exam with you, but I recommend having it written down on one sheet of paper. Don't have it up on your computer because it's just another tab that you're going to have to open and keep switching to. Plus, it may be a waste of time to use a lot of notes. The exam is still created to where it's your knowledge, and at this point, being in an AP class for 10 months, even though some of it was online, you should really be prepared. But if you are bringing notes, keep it simple. I'd say one page of the needed information. So for AP Literature, don't list a bunch of literary devices that you probably already know or won't even talk about. Instead, maybe set some reminders on the writing structure of having an introduction a certain way and a thesis statement and what's included in a thesis statement. Maybe a checklist for some editing for you. Number 11, do not search the web. You're gonna have some problems if you do. It's not strictly forbidden by the College Board, but it is going to be a real waste of your time. It's really not worth it. Plus, I know students who will fall into the trap of accidentally plagiarizing and not even meaning it because they read something online and they're like, oh, I like that interpretation, and then they accidentally write it in a way that's definitely plagiarism. And College Board will catch you. Number 12. This is also a tip straight from College Board. They recommend that you check into your exam 30 minutes before it actually starts. Number 13, pin your tabs at the top of your toolbar so that you cannot accidentally close them. Number 14, now granted this one's difficult, but try to find a quiet location in your home free of distractions. And try to get your other family members to recognize that you're taking an exam for about an hour, a little under, and ask them nicely if they would not use the internet during that time period. This is truly just precautionary. Your internet should still hold up for a word processor in the exam, but we all know that sometimes if a lot of people are on the internet in your home at the same time, streaming videos, playing some games, doing some work, it can slow down your speeds. And number 15, when your timer in the exam gets down to 5 minutes, you'll see it turns red. That's because they really want you to submit your work at that time. Now, the demo even showed that there will be a pop-up alerting you that you should submit your work. It didn't prohibit me, or at least it didn't seem like it would prohibit me from continuing to type, but they really gave you 45 minutes to do everything, and then they give you 5 minutes to submit, so plan on being done within 45 minutes. Bonus tip! Go to the bathroom beforehand. You don't want a situation where you're holding in your bladder or you really have to go. If you go to the bathroom beforehand and you know you're going to be fine, you could also have some soda or water nearby you and a snack while you're taking the exam. So there you have it. There are 15 practical tips. Hopefully you can use all of them, or if not, a few. If you like this video, please do me a favor and subscribe to my channel. That way you'll be notified of any other AP Literature videos that come out, maybe even some extra tips. Good luck.